Hey everybody, welcome back to Game of Tones, episode 18. A couple of people have been DMing me on when this series is going to come back, and I promise I don't plan on disbanding this. I probably want to get this to as long as I can make it, maybe 50 or 100 episodes, because I kind of like this low-key dev session kind of stuff. Not many people have been doing it, and it's actually something that I find really fun to do, very therapeutic. I can just talk to you guys on what's on my mind personally, but things have been kind of crazy, I'm sure you all know. And behind the scenes, I've been doing a lot more business work, a lot more behind the scenes business work, and not so much music work. But I'm ready to come back, and we'll see how that works out. Hopefully I don't get dragged into something else. But in any case, everything has been really, really well. All things considered, hopefully everyone is staying safe. This video is going to be a little different, mainly because I don't really know what I really want to do, and FL Studio has been updating nonstop since I came back. I probably updated it 3 times, and so I'm still trying to work out the little kinks here and there. And not to mention, I'm very old school, so when I have a working streamlined workflow, any little thing that throws me off, it just sets me off, and so I hate it. But hey, this is gonna be a positive video, I swear. One of my boys recommended this plugin to me, and I'm in love with it. I'm still learning how to use it, but I would highly recommend it. I don't even think I would consider this a review. I just want to just tell you my thoughts on it so far. So even as someone who has not really been super ingrained and been pushing this through the stress test, I've got to say, Plogue has made a really 100% accurate chip synth for emulating the SNES. This is not a joke. If anyone is interested in retro games or just having that nice crisp retro sound, this is gonna do it. I know we have Super Audio Card in the market right now. I am not going to say who's better or worse, but I'm telling you right now, if you want SNES, this is what you have to buy. It's only $40, and I loved it. It was so affordable, and I jumped right in right away. This is not something to play with. So I think the biggest key factor here is that you can put in original soundtracks of games and listen to them played back in its entirety, and also use the instruments from those songs, right? This is a game changer. It's very fun. I'm a big Final Fantasy guy, so I'm gonna go into Final Fantasy for example, right? And so the whole Final Fantasy playlist is here. You can kind of just go through it. One of my favorite songs, I'll see if I can go with the Within the Giant. If I click it, right, it plays, and all the instruments come up here and all their channels. And this happens to any song you want. What's happening here is you can actually grab these instruments and solo them if you want. You can play around with this. So the classic fight, right? So what's happening is if I wanted to solo the bass, I can, right? Come back, or strings, right? I think this is completely crazy. This is just completely nuts to me. I'm thinking, wow, you can actually use the exact sound palette that your favorite composers used back in the day. And I'm a huge Dave Wise fan as well, so you've got the Donkey Kong country stuff here. I love, Lockjaw's Locker. And if you really wanted to kind of steal some of these tracks or these instrument channels, you could. Let's see what's going on. I think one is probably a drum or something. Yeah. You've got the audio from the sound effects. I just think this is crazy. These kind of rapid fire strings. And guys, I just don't even know what to say. This is just a very, it's just paying so much respect. So for me, I'm a huge Final Fantasy guy, right? So if I wanted to just give a quick example. I'm not sure trying to shill this product, by the way. I just really like it. I was waiting for it for a long time, and when I heard that it was finally released, I jumped on board really, really, really quickly. So let's say, for example, Cry in Sorrow. It's a really sad song, right? It's got that. Okay, so we've got 2 instrument channels here playing, which is perfectly fine. So let's just say, for example, I want to take that melody sound. This is number 2, so I'll just say grab, and then there it is. So if I go into my MIDI keyboard, that exact melody kind of sounding is there. And I don't know if I want to actually like maybe I'll write something super small just for like the sake of sharing. I think this is really fun. So literally the exact same palette that Uematsu was using back in the day, it's like now at my fingertips. I'm like, okay, now I gotta make a retro project eventually, I'm sure. Let's see if I can make something. Let's just go nice and easy. Let's go A. Okay. Let me do here. Maybe like that. Let's see. I could do better than that. What about like a maybe that's what I need. Okay, something a little bit different. Something more attractive, at least. Even for a demo, this is not the way to do it. Let's see. That feels much better to me. And if I just repeated that, we're gonna just throw that E up to that F, and then that should still work. Let's see. Maybe. And then, let's go back to the A again. Cool. Alright, kind of a speed writing thing. Maybe. Yeah, that could work. Why is that so loud? But yeah, you guys, I'm just having like a little bit of a flashback, because like this is where like all my real dreams were made, and these were the songs that were the gateway drugs for getting into music composing for me. So the fact that I can just like play with them is crazy to me. So basically, if I were to keep that, wait, I don't. Alright, so let's say if I kept that like simple pattern there, we'll just call it, I don't even know what that is, actually. I'll just call it harp. It might be a harp. Depends. Could be something else. And then, yeah, we'll just auto name that. And so for the sake of just consistency, here we go. We'll paste it and drag it across. And what I'll do is, I'll think the next one, we gotta find out what that next instrument is in that lineup. So I'll go into the next one here. And so what I'll do is I'll go back into the player, go back into Final Fantasy IV, and I'll go back into that same song that I picked, The Cry of Sorrow. So I grabbed the second instrument the first time. So I'll grab the first one, and there it is. I'll stop this from playing. And so now I should have that plucking instrument in my MIDI keyboard, which I do. And the cool thing about that, yeah, it does sound a little bit dry. I guess I'll just, for the sake of some kind of uniformity, pluck, and yeah, I can just stick with that. I think it sounds a little bit dry, you guys. I'm gonna throw that into the mixer track here. I'll even put a Impact Soundworks SNES Verb on it. I know it's kind of crazy to kind of combine two different competing companies, but truthfully, I personally don't care. That's not my goal here. I think that I use whatever instruments or whatever tools feel good, and that's fine with me. I'm not a huge loyalist to that extent where I won't use someone just because they're competing. I mean, I get it, but that's just not me. Let's see if I can just make something quickly here. Maybe I don't even need to be too strict with it. I'll just set this to record. Let me get a countdown. Make some kind of countdown here. Let's see. Oh, it's not in the song mode. There we go. Maybe here. Not, oh, I put it in the wrong channel. Not good. Okay, that's okay. I kind of made a mistake in there anyway. This is where I want to put it. Go back in there. But I think I got like kind of like the way this is going. So let's start here. Try again. So the cool thing is I made a little bit of a hiccup here, but I liked that this retro sounding feel here. Let's see, I could turn the recorder off. I just wanted to get something on paper here. I guess I can repeat. Okay, so maybe like a... And then back down here. I think so. Something like that, right? Again, this is not to be like super perfect, but the whole thing is like those two instruments were ripped straight from Final Fantasy IV, right? I don't know if that song actually had any strings in it. I think strings could be kind of cool. So let's say, for example, you want to get kind of crazy here. I actually like, again, like I don't mind just digging and using any kind of tool I can get to just keep that authentic feel going. But Impact Soundworks is still good. I'm not going to say that the one is better than the other. I know there are people going back and forth with this kind of in the space. For me, I'll still use anything. But let's say, for example, this song particularly, I don't think it had any strings in it. I can jump into Super Audio Card, go into Instruments, go into my layer, kind of look through this, and yeah, let's go into SNES and then strings. And you know how these strings are super crunchy. Very, very old school. They're kind of dirty. Yeah. But I'm okay with that. It still feels good. It doesn't feel like it's super far off the mark or anything. And if I wanted to, I guess I could. Let's find out. Let's get that timer back on here and play with this. Let's get a 3, 2, 1. No way. One more. Something like that. So let's see what I can do here. I think honestly the first one was the best. I can probably just like repeat that. I think this last section here, not too well. But that's fine. That's fine with me actually. But the cool thing about this here, right, and the really big thing I want to push is that you're getting these authentic sounds and they're yours. I actually don't know if this is like a legal thing. I have to actually worry about that, right? Because I don't know if I would want to actually make a song using the exact same samples. I don't know if that's like a potential risk. I'm gonna have to look into that, but I really do want to start building these retro sounding tracks. Yeah, honestly, I'm loving this so far. And like you can immediately get that instant gratification. And I'm feeling like I'm having a lot of fun with this. I'm feeling like I'm back in the 90s. And this can happen for any game that you personally want to work with, like any kind of sound palette, right? So right now I was just using Final Fantasy IV, but again, this is any kind of SNES game that you really love. Like, I mean, I also love Street Fighter. I also love Super Castlevania, right? So I can go in here and like anything you feel like, hey, what song did I like? I like Waterfalls, right? This is kind of crazy. Or you know the kind of the more famous one, the Bloody Tears. If you want to solo one of these, You can get the organ there with the strings. So just for that example, it's just like it's the same scenario. If I wanted to just grab something, I grab the organs from it. I go back in, the chip synth, and then boom. Oh yeah, then I grab the then I grab the organ. I grab the drum kit. But honestly, this is just a really fun plugin. I honestly don't know what else I can say. Like, this just feels really fun to play with. I'm gonna dig into it more to find out if there's any legal issues that can happen if I choose to like make a, I don't know, like a royalty-free SNES kind of edition, which I actually really wanted to do for a long time, and I think this is the way to do it. But I'll get back to you with that, guys. Until next time, stay safe. Thanks for tuning in. Honestly, this has been kind of a wild ride this year. Hopefully everyone's masking up, doing the right things, being safe, social distancing. Hopefully we get something, some good news soon. We can go back to the way we used to be. All right. Until next time, you guys. Take care and cheers.